All right, man. They asked him who's to blame for the Lions' loss to the Packers. Check out Detroit Lions Talk playlist, thumbs to the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. It's a double-edged sword here. I just think you go black people say, "Oh, now they should play preseason." They got off to a slow start last year offensively. I think last year Jameer was dealing with a little hamstring injury. The Porter was dealing with a little injury. I just think, the lack of playing in the preseason. But also, you look at Cincinnati. I don't feel like it helped them playing in the preseason this year. They still barely beat the Cleveland Browns by 1 point, 17-16. So Dan Campbell is on the side of not playing in the preseason and sustaining injuries. So they came out, and then also this year it's a little different because you're putting in a new scheme. You got new players, so bare minimum, if I'm being real, I think Hud should have took some snaps in the preseason. I think Davenport should have took some snaps in the preseason. And I also believe the offensive line should have been playing in the preseason. Preferably with hitting the hooker because he can move his legs and get out the way. But those probably should have been playing in the preseason. And side note, if I don't mention it, the Bade Hutchinson was getting double teamed a lot versus the Green Bay Packers. You know what I'm saying? And you know why? There's no other threat to get a pass rush on that defensive line. There's no other threat. The big fellas in the inside, they run stoppers and space eaters. Davenport didn't do nothing, so they're going to double Hutchinson every time. And from Hutchinson issue is going to be his contract is tied to this year. Let me say this real quick. His contract is tied to this year. How much he going to get is tied to the season he had. And y'all think it's a coincidence they didn't get Aiden Hutchinson no help? I want to say that. Y'all think it's a coincidence? I just passed Laporta billboard too. Y'all think it's a coincidence they didn't get him no help? I don't think it's a coincidence. I think they probably didn't get him help on purpose so he didn't have a big year. Therefore, they can pay him cheaper. The Lions that cheap, but another video for another day. So I just think the place preseason, the rustiness, just not enough snaps together. I just think it goes down to rustiness. Two defensive ends, Hutchinson and Davenport, they missed the majority of last season. Okay. Then you roll around and you say, the offensive line, everybody moved around. So Graham Glasgow back to center, Radledge, getting some burn. And then you go to the left side and Mahogany, who ain't played a lot of football. Last year, he was injured. Then he came in and he stepped in for Zyper to start balling. So he ain't played a lot of football. It's just going to take time. And they probably should have been playing that offensive line they should have been playing them a half of football each preseason game, even a Hall of Fame game. They should have been playing them a half of football. So that's my opinion on it. They should have been playing them a half of football. Yep. So they didn't. But I just think it's due to rustiness. And they have been struggling in all camp. That was a word. And they've been struggling versus that defense to defend. That's the crazy thing about it. They've been struggling against that defense. That horrible-ass defense you've seen. So if they were struggling versus that defense in camp, and Green Bay was doing that to them, I mean, crazy, right? But I just think it's due to rustiness, new scheme. They gonna need, but the thing about it is this: they ain't gonna have a whole bunch of time to warm up. That's the crazy thing about it. They ain't got much time to warm up. They playing some really good teams. Chicago. We'll see what happens tonight. I ain't seen it yet. Browns, Baltimore, Browns, Bengals. They playing some good teams. Or at least Cleveland got a good defense. So, So I just think it's rust and just lack of repetitions in live game. And every rookie is not going to hit the ground running. You know, Tay Rattlers, every rookie ain't going to hit the ground running. So you got to remember that. Every rookie ain't going to hit the ground running. There's going to be some periods where it's a little slow. So I know everybody like, oh, Tay, take some time. You know, it's a lot going in there. You know, learn from your mistakes, keep it moving. But I just think it's just reps and rustiness and new scheme. It's no one person fault because they're playing preseason and somebody get hurt. Oh damn, why'd you play them in preseason? So that's the whole thing about it. A lot of guys got. That's what I was saying. They need to bring in more reinforcements at defensive end. You know, because they don't have the reps. These guys ain't played football in the season. Aiden Hudson week 7. Davenport what week 2, week 1, week 2, week 3. Come on. His body language, even on the field yesterday, was just like, it's like, I think he's defeated from the injury. And just in his defense, when you just constantly going through these injuries, dog, his elbow, his back, his leg, that shit is a wrap. I heard somebody talking about, yeah, Ragnar only played 6 years and he's this, that, and the third. And my thing is this. Dog, have y'all ever played football? One practice, most people couldn't make it to one practice. Even before we put the pads on, the conditioning. That's the wild part about it. You know, the abuse, like the average NFL career is like 2.5 years, 3 if that. You know, so y'all know the abuse that you take. Like, man, I used to come to practice, play for the West Side Eagles back in the day. The first time playing football. I used to fall asleep in my fucking uniform. I was so tired. You know, and you ain't that young no more, bro. Them bruises, them bumps, you got to do it again. The ankle, your ass, your shoulders, you know, them throwing dirt in your face and y'all lining up. That's why you linemen wear visors. That's a lot of abuse on the body, bro. You got, just think about you in your 30s, you know, mid to late 30s, and your back start hurting, your ass start. Imagine that start happening at 23, 24, 27, maybe 27, 28. It's a lot of abuse. It's a lot of abuse. It's a lot of abuse. That's what guys don't understand. It's a lot of abuse. You ain't got to do it again and do it again and do it, and then you don't get a lot of break. You get a little bit of break in the off season, then you got to start training again. Get tired of that shit. I'm telling you. But I just think it's rust in a new scheme, and it might be a throwaway year. More than likely, it is a throwaway year. Hopefully, they get a high pick and they get a generational talent, and you know, ease your schedule next year, and we'll see what it is. So, thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. Next subscribe button is the bell icon button. Hit all notifications. Increase your chance to get notifications. We go live and drop video. Check out Detroit Lions top playlist for more videos like this. Peace.